It is finally back, and a lot of the things that happened within the last 2 years of Apex just got explained, and it seems it's all leading up to a big event, as it's been a criticism of Apex recently that the lore for the game is lackluster. It used to have such an excellent story and Respawn just kicked it to its side, but lately it seems this story is slowly coming back, and with Season 27 there's a lot to discover, which explains two of the biggest events in Apex in recent memory that Respawn didn't explain. You see, this version of Olympus that we are playing on right now is actually the Olympus that collided with Broken Moon in Season 20. Let me explain. If you're not aware, on the back end of Season 20, Respawn started teasing Season 21, and the teasers were essentially Olympus teleporting between multiple Apex maps. So, you would see it on Stormpoint, you would see it on Broken Moon, and you would also see it on Olympus. It would come through a green portal before quickly disappearing again. But after a week of this teaser running and Olympus teleporting around, it eventually crashed into the stasis net above Broken Moon, before teleporting away again. We all originally thought that this was an excuse to make a Broken Moon update, as the stasis net collapsed onto Broken Moon and it had to undergo repairs, which resulted in the Broken Moon Season 21 update. But it turns out this event in Season 20 was picked up again in Season 26, as at the back end of Season 26, the missing teleporting version of Olympus that crashed into Broken Moon's stasis net was finally found, crash landed on the planet of Pagos, where it was revealed, despite crashing there only last year, it had been sitting there for potentially decades. Which means, not only was Olympus teleporting in these teasers back in Season 20, but it was also time travelling. After the teasers progressed at the end of Season 26, it was revealed upon closer inspection that this version of Olympus was from the future too, explaining why the original version of Olympus was fine while another version was crashed on a different planet. It was also revealed in the teasers that the Syndicate and Horizon got to work repairing this crashed version of Olympus and lifted it back into the sky with Horizon's gravity tech and gravity engine. This meant there were now officially two floating, functioning versions of Olympus. Because the new version of Olympus was from the future, the Syndicate became worried about the stability of the old Olympus, because clearly at some point in its future it would teleport and crash land. So they moved the Apex games onto the new Olympus and renamed the old Olympus to be called Olympus Prime. So essentially, this version and this version of Olympus both still exist in the Apex universe. During the repair effort of the new Olympus, Horizon actually received some funds to help on the repair, and with these funds, she built the Summers University, which is her town takeover that was made not only to educate, but also to study and find out why Olympus did that, why it teleported around, time travelled, and then crashed into one planet, time travelled into the past, and landed on another. And it seems already, if you look close in the new Horizon point of interest, some crazy stuff has already been discovered, as it has 3 interactive showcases and Easter eggs around the point of interest. Also, voice lines activate when pinging the statues outside, and every legend has voice lines relating to these statues.
Statues here. Is this all Dr. Summers thinks she can do? Seems like she's still holding herself back, new team.
But none of them are particularly important within this lore point that we're talking about right now. Starting off though, before we get onto the weird interactable objects, which probably tell us where the lore is going to go in the future, there's a screen in the university that finally explains the whole of Season 23. For a long time I criticised Season 23 because the lore had no lore. As the lore always was, one day rifts showed up, there was an evil version of Horizon in the rifts, and then at the end of Season 23 they closed with no reason and no story. So finally this screen explains it. Also, let me preface this with one thing to those who aren't aware. The reason Horizon wants to time travel is to go back and see her son, as essentially Ash, when she was a human, sent Horizon into the future, so she basically outlived her son and her son died and she didn't get to grow up with him. Okay, now that's extremely simplistically out the way. This screen reveals that Horizon was attempting to use the Titanfall 2 time travel gauntlet with the Arc Shard from Alter, but it didn't result in time travel. Instead, it created the rifts that were the center point of Season 23. As in Season 23, the rifts brought down rift packs that debuted the EPG, cool abilities, and also alternate versions of the legends. The rifts did not cause shifts in time, but seemingly opened parallel universes and made people act out of character, which is likely referencing the fact that there was an evil Horizon in the trailer, and also there was an evil Horizon skin, and the Double Take event had alternate versions of the legends with lore backstories to accompany these alternate versions. It is revealed at the end of Season 23, the rifts just closed on their own. Horizon did try to reverse them with the Titanfall 2 time device, but she made no actual input to them closing. She believes that the gloves could still work for time travel, but she needs a new power source for them. She says it's possible that someone on the other side of the rifts, potentially implied to be the evil version of Horizon, was the one who ended up closing the rifts, and she was able to conduct little research on the rifts due to not having the right equipment. So finally, that lore point is explained. Great. If we go downstairs in the Summers University, there are 3 showcases. The first one is a mystery panel that was found at the crash site of this version of Olympus. Horizon says it's very interesting because it was clearly made to reduce environmental waste and it can heal and regenerate itself. She says due to its complexity, she wonders if this is something that her and her son worked on from the future version of Olympus. So this implies Horizon's time travel does eventually work and she is reunited with them. Also, there's another interactable, which is a time travel panel. This was found because it was an energy source causing time issues at the Olympus crash site, and Horizon suggests because of the energy coming from it, it could have been used for time travel, and she even suggests it could have been part of the time travel device she used to finally unite herself with her son. So, this object here may be used to accelerate research to create a proper time travel device, and it is demonstrated that this object clearly causes some level of time travel, as the Marvins do this. The final interactable object within the Summers University is this, Horizon's son's workstation, proving once again he was somehow on this future version of Olympus, likely with Horizon, as they both successfully time traveled. She says his research indicates he spent his life better in the Outlands. But the gear is damaged by an unknown event, and she doesn't know whether this is a bad event or it could have been something positive. It does seem to me that maybe this damage is caused by a time traveling accident. So maybe the reason Olympus got thrown through the past and future and multiple Apex maps is because of a time traveling accident. To continue the time travel lore, within the Season 27 Battle Pass, it gives away this loading screen here. And if you unlock the loading screen and check its description, it says this: hard to believe we're almost through. Took a fair bit of work convincing the nabs up top, but you can't just sweep up all the bits and bobs and call it a day. This place jumped back through time. It's a marvel all on its own. And at some point, I knew that. Some Mary, at some point, I lived an entire life here with Newton. So it does seem that Horizon has sufficient evidence that she will eventually create a time travel machine, go and fetch Nuke from the past, and then time travel back to this version of Olympus before it eventually crashed. I know, time travel is very confusing, especially when someone's time traveling back to see their son and then time traveling back into the future with their son. It's all very confusing. But Respawn did finally explain 2 of the biggest unexplained parts of Apex lore, and it seems like lore is actually moving in the right direction. This is great. Season 27 also has a lot more lore, like Mirage and Wraith voice lines where they're seemingly trying to flirt.
Thanks, Elliot.
No prob. Just let me know if your voices talk about me, okay? Like, about my hair mostly. Do they talk about my hair? Your voices talk about my hair, don't they?
Bloodhound and Fuse voice lines that get a bit freaky.
Let's shoot guns and smack bombs, yeah? Undoubtedly.
A Caustic and Crypto rivalry reignited.
Pause, Crypto. Like in one of your video games. I agree, reluctantly.
Mirage and Crypto jokes.
Hey, you tuckered out, little buddy? You need to take a nap?
Use that voice on me again, and I'll make your suit shoot fireworks.
Valk and Horizon teaming up and becoming quite good friends.
You're the best, Space Mom. You're Welcome, Petal. Just keep your ears and nose clean.
And Alta seemingly trying to become friends with Valk as well, potentially to sabotage Horizon in the future.
Thanks. Now, are we gonna stir up these bogies or what?
Ooh, letting the viper out of the bag, I see.
The lore is looking up, and I'm glad I can finally make a decent video on the lore of Apex. I'm excited to see where it goes, and hopefully it keeps a decent pace, and we don't have to wait 2 more years to see what's going to happen with this. But if you want to keep updated with everything Apex, subscribe right now. Like, why are you not subscribed? What are you doing?